like it. Well, hello everyone. Thanks for joining me on another wild camp. This is just so peaceful. I've just stopped in a little village called Ardfern. It's on the west coast of Scotland. Probably about two and a bit hours north of Glasgow into the sort of rugged remote areas. This is probably like a little fishing place at the moment. It's never been here before, but it's beautiful. I'm just going to head to about here, walk round the road, and then I'm going to cut inland, and that's where I'm going to this little wild camping spot. I've never been here before, so this is a bit of a tester. So I have sort of mapped it, and it looks quite decent, so that's the plan. But thanks for joining me on it. Let's see what we can do, and the weather's good as well. Nice cool breeze actually. It's been warm all morning, but it's nice and cool now so far. So that was a nice promising little sign, seeing otters. It looks a great bit for it as well, and it's very peaceful. So I'm just heading out of Ardfern. This is actually quite an easy walk, this one. Basically, I chose this area and this location, terrain, for this first leg because I suffered from COVID just not long ago, and for those who have had it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. For those who haven't, it actually put me on my arse, to be honest. I've tried to avoid it for the 2 years, and successfully, until just a few weeks ago. So this is my first trip out since recovering from it. I wasn't hospitalised or anything like that. It was self-recuperation, I think. I lost way over 2 weeks, and I don't know what's happened to them because I can't remember. So I've kind of paid a bit of a heavy price for it that way. And I found myself, like those who've had it, very lethargic, very out of breath. I could go around the shops and I'm out of breath. So this is why I'm kind of taking an easy leg this way. It's a quiet and remote spot, but it's very peaceful. Ardfern there is 20 houses, if that. Little cottages dotted up and down the road. I mean, this is the sort of backdrop as well at where we're going. It's a nice, easy walk in. So that's the plan. I'm going to cut up, probably in about 500 yards here, and head right over to the other side. So there's water on this side. I'm going to be heading over. It's a bit of a leg, this bit, so I'm going to cut over, head on the other side. So I'll basically be looking a little bit down onto Jura. That's give you that sort of area where I am. But I'll tell you more about it, and if I can't remember names and things, I'll put them on the screen, along with all the other details in the the description and things like that, so I can stay up to date. What a beautiful walk. Now heading up the track up to a little holding called Baracken. I think that's how you pronounce it. Baracken. Round about that area there's a bit of a myth. There's a stone that was covered in moss, or some sort of pile of stone that was covered in moss. And the legend says it. I'll put it in the link in the bio and underneath there, so you can check it out. The people that were building houses in this area, probably centuries ago, had used part of the stone for building their house or small holding or whatever. And they all, believe it or not, the legend says that the people that built the houses with that type of stone and from that area heard voices to take it back. I didn't delve too much into it, but the legend says they put all the stone back because they were too scared to find out what happened. But there's a wee bit of history for you. Whether I'll see it or not, I don't know. I might check it out and see if I can do a little video on it. But this is just a lovely way up. So that's where I'm heading for. Baracken. And then I'll take a cut off and go down the shoreline. Oof. Well, here we are. This is the area that I was looking at, and there is a little bit of a bay around the other side. Probably got better grass, and it's probably better for camping, but it's kind of like tucked away. I've kind of walked back and forward up and down this stretch, about 100 yards, and there's not very many good bits at all, to be honest. It's kind of it's very tussocky, rutty, and and there's signs of cows that have been in here as well from a while back, and so there's all the holes and stuff like that, so it's kind of a very uneven bit of ground. But just at the back there I have got a little spot, and it's probably the best spot that I can find, to be honest. But I was thinking that my theory is that because I've got that good bit, looks like I'm going to get a pretty cracking sunset tonight. I think if I go around the corner there, I'm not really going to see anything, and I don't really want to be wandering somewhere else at night in the dark, even with a torch, taking sunset photos and doing night shots in this tussocky grass, because I'll break my ankle or something like that. That's how bad it is. But despite that, despite all the little rutty bits, look at this stunning view. What a lovely little piece of water. It's nice and calm, and we'll see how it is for a swim in there. I know it's kind of pushing it now for time. It's just coming up for 5:30, so a bit later as usual. It was a bit of a trek to get here, and we're here now anyway. Let's not complain about it or dampen the spirits of it. I'll get the tent built up, that's the main thing, all sorted that way, and I like having a wee rake about, so we'll see what's what with it. Maybe take a walk round there and see what that little bit's like. But yeah, let's enjoy this scenery. Tonight's choice of tent is no doubt the MSR Elixir 1 man tent. You don't need to see me building it. Check back on the video, I've got a detailed video about constructing this. This will be my first time sleeping in it, so let's just chuck it in and get it built. And there you have it. It's actually not a bad little spot. It's turned out actually okay underground there. I've actually managed to put the footprint on it first, and yeah, I think it's about learning and getting to know this tent. So I've unravelled the sort of guy ropes there as well, and they look actually very flimsy, but they're seriously strong there. It feels like a wire, to be honest, more than a string, but it's very tough. So all good there. Might be a hot night tonight actually, but yeah. Okay, so the tent's up, all ready. I'm going to get the air mat up and the sleeping bag and have a cup of tea, and then I'll get my dinner on. I've just come down to the water edge, sitting on a rock, just with my cup of tea, and it's just glorious. It's just absolutely stunning. This is what I'm dealing with here. It's just crystal clear water. Tent's just at the back there, looking good. And it's a bit of a battle of wits here because I'm enjoying my cup of tea and I'm just looking out there to that beautiful scenery and taking in everything here, and my stomach's saying just get some food in you, you're hungry. So it's a bit of a battle, but I think the scenery's winning so far. I've never had these already big made meals by various companies. I've always thought they were too expensive to buy because I'm a bit of a cheapskate. But I pushed the boat out and I bit the bullet, and I went into a shop and bought this one, which is something to eat, and it's macaroni and cheese. Sounds quite nice. I actually like macaroni and cheese, so I've got high expectations of this. But the hot water's on and we have a nice view, and just on that, everywhere I go I find a plank of wood. So if you're out and about, plank of wood makes an ideal worktop, just saying. But anyway, my water is boiled. I'm just about to put this into my food and leave it for a few minutes. I mean, tear here, so yeah, look at that. I mean, I've made a bit of a mess of it, but hey, maybe not ideal, but so inside them, I mean, it's looks fair good. It has got a chart inside it. I don't know if you can see that, but I'll try and do my best. It's got a chart. It tells you to fill on here. It tells you to fill up to D. So it must be the same packet, but for a different ingredients. There's a different water level, and inside it is this little sachet, and it's obviously not for eating because it's an oxygen absorber. So keeps these meals as fresh as. It says 175 mils of water anyway. Which oh, fair enough. It's and then we reseal it. And then, as it says, just leave it for, it's got various languages across there, but Great Britain's at the top, so it says leave it for 8 minutes. So that's been about 10 minutes, sufficient enough. It's actually quite hot to the touch. There's a fair heat in it, so it would definitely be great for winter time. Smells pretty good. Looks, yeah, you can maybe make that out yourself. Looks actually okay. I did try to stir it pretty well, so hopefully there's no dry bits at the bottom as sometimes happens with other stuff. First impression is that it's actually quite good. It's quite cheesy.
I like it. I think if you're going away for a week hiking, one of these every day with a pudding, you know, it can kind of rake up the bills, isn't it? It's quite expensive, to be honest. So on that, I do like it. Would I buy loads of them? Probably not, because of how expensive they are for what it is. I understand the process of making it and all that stuff. I think to make that, to have one of them every day of the week, would be quite expensive if you're going to be in the wild. I suppose you probably got to weigh it up. If you are going in the wild, you want high caloried stuff anyway. And this is what this is. It's pretty easy to carry. So the choice is yours. I would rate that quite high actually, just for the actual, yes it is a basic kind of macaroni cheese, but it's I do like it. I'd definitely buy it again. This is from Adventure Food. It's got, this is 300 calories a portion, mousse au chocolate. So vegetarian, I don't know. 8 minutes again, one portion, eat out the pouch, quick and tasty. So yeah, this is Adventure Foods for my pudding. That's the chocolate one. So we'll see what that's like.
So this is just basically a chocolate mousse, and I've just read the instructions on it, and it's just cold water you put into it. Roughly 120 mils of water, and again sit it for 8 minutes. It doesn't have a level thing on it, so it's just basically measured out 120 mils of water. Pour that in, and we'll give it a stir. Again, oh, very chocolatey. So again, I will seal this. Let it sit for 10 minutes. It smells very chocolatey. It smells like a strong chocolate cake. With the way it looks at the moment, I'm going to say I've added a little bit too much water. It's not a mousse. It's more like a thick liquid. So it's like, so it's probably just, I reckon there is some bits in here that I haven't actually got the water to it, so it's still a bit, that dry chocolatey bit. But I think overall, I mean, yes, I put too much water in it. If there was less water that I'd done, it's quite hard because my first measurement is 200. It's like trying to get 120 mils out of that. You're just judging it with your eye. So that's my fault. And the midges are hammering me now. But I have got the midgie spray. One of the first things I put in. It's just nice to have once in a while, so if you're away for a week, maybe get two or three of them just to give you that little boost. That's my way of thinking at the moment. Well, I'll finish this up. It is good, and I wish I made a better job at it so it was actually a mousse instead of a liquid.
And once I've finished that, I'm going to plaster my cell in midgie spray. And I brought the fishing rod, the tide's coming in, and I'm just going to have a little cast in the fishing, just for the last wee while, and just enjoy the piece. It was so nice to sit and eat in the glorious sun and look out to sea, even if it was with the midges. As I was heading to the vantage point to get sorted to capture the sun setting, I unexpectedly stumbled upon a badger foraging. So I quickly got out the camera and tried my best to get some decent footage, which worked out not too bad. Then I turned and saw another 2 badgers, which were about 25 feet away. It was obvious the wind and my scent were on my side to be able to capture the badgers. It was fascinating just standing in 5-foot high bracken, watching these badgers in their natural habitat, feeding, watching, and listening to everything. I was quite well aware about the time, and the sun was slowly going down. I moved forward gently, which the badgers heard, and caused them to slip down into their set. It was a nice little experience for an unexpected moment. This lovely spot was perfect to capture the sun setting, and if you listen, you can hear a distant bark from a roe deer. It must have got my scent, and its bark is its warning call to the others of my presence. It's quite eerie if you've never heard it before. I didn't have to wait too long to capture this breathtaking sunset. Just as a guide, the mountains in the background are on the Isle of Mull, and one of them is Ben Bute, which I'm guessing is the one on the left of the mountain range. There was hardly a breath of wind blowing, and was just so nice to sit and be in a trance, looking at the forever changing sky as the sun sets. Sunsets always bring a sense of peace to your soul. It was an enjoyable end to the evening, and so I packed up the camera and headed back to the tent. Okay, hopefully you can see me here. The light's not great and it's dark, so I should have done this earlier. Successful day. Good sunset, cracking sunset to be honest. All fed and watered. I've got a cup of tea sitting there and I'm just going to call it a night. And hopefully I get a good sleep. So I shall sign off and wish you a good night. See you in the morning.
Good morning, everyone. It's a damp morning. It's very quiet. The water's just trickling in. There's a nice misty haze lining the bit on top of the rushes over there. I wouldn't say I had the best sleep last night, but it's better than what I normally have. It was quite sticky and everything last night because of the heat of the day. But we'll take a little scan about, but just going to get a cup of tea on. It's the best part of the day at the moment. But midges are not too bad. There are a few. But kettle on first. This is my morning television. The sunrise. And what a stunning one it is this morning. When that sun peeks over that hill there, it's going to be pretty warm. So with the sun coming up there, it's casting its lovely rays over this bay.
While the sun was rising, the kettle was on once again, and my breakfast porridge was not far behind it. It was a lovely warm sun, which helped dry the tent. Once breakfast was over, I started to pack things away. At this point, I should have been doing this to camera, but unfortunately, I misplaced the footage, so it's given me a wee chance to do some voiceover work. With my rucksack packed and the tent away, it was time for me to leave this spot and head back the way I came, leaving no trace. This was the first of my 3 nights away in the wild done. And I felt good as I eased myself back into it after having COVID. Taking in the last pieces of scenery as I walked down the track to the road. It was time to say thank you for watching. It's been a great night away and perfect weather. If you're new to this video, then thank you for stopping by. And if it's your thing, then check out my other videos and subscribe. If you're a social media person, then you can also join me on Instagram at Camping on the Wild Side Scotland. And I'm on Facebook at Camping on the Wild Side. So stay safe, and you can catch me on part 2 coming soon. Cheers for now.